What is going on, everybody? ZyoniK here, and in today's video we are going to be looking at one of the strongest current Open Ultra League teams. Now, I know a lot of people have been running this. I know a lot of Twitch streamers as well, but the double backline of Virizion and Cobalion is so dang strong. I showcased how strong Virizion was at the start of last week. Cobalion as well is incredibly good as a safe swap. It is a fighting steel typing, and it can draw out a lot of the counters to Virizion while also having access to Stone Edge there to handle things like Talonflame, for example. Now, we're going to be seeing these battles from Felrose. You guys have seen this guy a lot on the channel. Awesome person, awesome battler, and awesome content creator. Link to his channel down in the description. But he's going to be running it with Pidgeot there on the lead. This is XL, so if you don't have an XL Pidgeot, what I would suggest to you is trying Crobat. That's what I'm going to be trying with this team once I get my Cobalion ready, but I need some more candy for that. I'm sure a lot of you guys are in the same situation. But let's see how strong this team is. All right, getting into the first battle, we have Pidgeot on the lead versus Shadow Nidoqueen. Okay, not too bad. I mean, the lead does kind of stink once you get those Poison Fang debuffs here, but what's nice is you're keeping it away from Virizion, so they're going to go ahead and let the first Poison Fang go through. And we will probably see maybe a potential. Oh, we see a swap out into Snorlax. So they're going to go ahead and load up on some energy. Go for the Feather Dance now to apply that debuff. And then we will likely see Virizion here come in. One of them is definitely going to be coming. Yeah, it's going to be the Virizion right here. Double Kick as well is the new fast move for Season 12. And it was put on both Virizion and Cobalion, which makes them so good. It's a fighting type move that is basically near the equivalent of Snarl. That's what we're looking at right here. So they're going to go ahead and let these body slams go through, load up on energy, and go for the Sacred Sword now to take out the Snorlax. Sacred Sword is just like Leaf Blade, incredibly spammy, but it does do a little bit less damage, 60 damage instead of 70. So we're going to see the Nidoqueen come in, but Virizion now could potentially get to 2 Leaf Blades, which does do neutral damage in this situation. This is why it is so deadly. It is going to be forcing shields. It does get to the second one in time, and it might even get to a third. Looking at the health right here, if they can get 2 more double kicks in, I think they can get to a third. One, no, they're not going to get it in time. Unfortunate, but they got shield advantage, which is great now, and switch advantage. So they're going to go ahead and no shield this next Poison Fang, and then we may see that. Hopefully, we can get to the Feather Dance in time. No, they can't. That is unfortunate. So they're going to have to come in with Cobalion now, and they will be facing the wrath of this debuff from the Poison Fang. They're going to go ahead and shield it, but yeah, it could have been potentially an Earth Power. I think maybe 1 or 2 more attacks, but there's an Obstagoon in the back. That's a good game. Cobalion right here, even though it is taking super effective damage from counter, these Sacred Swords are going to be near one-shotting the Obstagoon right here, and it's extremely spammy. As you see, they're already at another one by the time Obstagoon finally got to its first charge move. This is how good this duo backline can be. Boom! One-shots it right there. Good game. Oh, there's still the Nidoqueen in the back. Very well played. But, yeah, this is, sorry about that. Got some allergies today. This is an absolute deadly duo line combo. I mean, I was extremely impressed with Virizion and how strong and potent it was. And if you just pair it with Cobalion on the backline, the double fighter backline with your second fighter there with Cobalion having that steel typing really helps out on the safe swap. Alright, so we see a Dragonite here on the lead. They can't necessarily swap out, even though the Cobalion will resist Dragon Breath. They want to stay in with Pidgeot right here, and they need to try to get a shield with Brave Bird, or potentially a Brave Bird, and probably going for the Feather Dance. So they're going to go ahead and shield the Dragon Claw, and then we will see them load up and go for the Feather Dance right away. This is the right call. You need to lower, I mean, the opponent probably knows it as well, but you need to lower that Dragon Breath damage. They do get a shield as well, which is the best situation you could ask for right here, getting even shields. Now, we did see them try to swap to catch that charge move there on Cobalion, but they'll probably let this go as they can survive, and they're going to go, yeah, they're going to have to go into Cobalion now as they get farmed down. So Cobalion will be resisting Dragon Breath, but look at the double kicks. Even though it is resisted, it's going to be able to take it down. Now they will be shielding this next charge move, which is going to be a superpower, that new move on Dragonite. And we see a Galarian Stunfisk come in. This is not going to be the best answer. I mean, to be fair, Earthquake is a good answer to it. But having the charge moves of Sacred Sword, they should be able to get to 2 right here, which might force that final shield from the opponent. If they do get the final shield, they can come in with Virizion and farm down, which makes this duo... Oh, they're just going to swap out anyways. They do get the swap out in time. And Virizion is such a good counter to Galarian Stunfisk because it resists every move. Rock Slide because of the fighting typing. Earthquake because of the grass typing. It is such a good counter to Galarian Stunfisk that they can easily just survive all of these charge moves and fully farm down. The opponent decided to surrender right there. Good game. All right. Moving into the next one, we have Pidgeot on the lead versus Swampert. Okay. They have good answers for this basically on the whole team. I mean, Cobalion would probably be the worst answer because of the potential Earthquake, but still, Sacred Sword, Leaf Blade, Pidgeot's Brave Bird, all really good options to take down a Swampert here. And Pidgeot doesn't necessarily need to shield that first Hydro Cannon, so they're going to go ahead and go for the Feather Dance now. Again, threatening with the Brave Bird. It's always so dangerous to let a charge move go through, and they do get a shield right there, which is perfect. This is why a Pidgeot lead pairs so well with this team, because you have that shield pressure early on in these neutral matchups. So let's see if they can get to another one in time. No, they cannot. They're probably, yeah, they're going to go ahead and shield. They're looking to potentially take switch advantage or get themselves 2 shields right here. If they can get 2 shields, we see a swap out into Cresselia. Okay, so this is going to be interesting. They're going to go ahead and go for the Feather Dance. We'll likely see Cobalion come in, and let's see what it can do against a Cresselia, right? It's going to be resisting the Psycho Cut, the Grass Knot, the neutral from the Moon Blast. But I think this was a bit quick. I think this is going to be... Oh, it is the Moon Blast. So it's a neutral. That barely did anything! No damage, and they have a Stone Edge right here as well. Mind you, that was a debuff Feather Dance as well, but just goes to show how good this Cobalion could potentially be, especially paired with that Pidgeot. This is absolutely deadly. Here comes the next charge move. They're going to go ahead and let it go through. There's no reason to be shielding at all in these situations until you get closer to the end. But these Stone Edges are really nice to have. Gives you really good coverage against things that would resist fighting type moves. So the Ghosts, maybe Giratina Altered, Cresselia right here as we were seeing, maybe even Trevenant, which is really nice. And they're going to go ahead and go for the Sacred Sword now to try to force that final shield from the opponent. But I don't even know if this is going to be enough damage to take it out if they let it go through. It is not. So they're going to have to let this Moonblast go. And they might... Oh, this is going to be risky. Will they be able to get the farm down is the question. It's going to be a race to the fast moves right here. I don't think they're going to get it in time. No, the Cresselia does get to another charge move. So they're going to go ahead and shield and farm down with the double kick as the Grass Knot does get that final shield. They should be able to farm down now, and they have loaded energy for whatever decides to come in. It is going to be the Swampert, and they swap out right away into the Virizion, and we do see the Alolan Muck now come in. Virizion with this moveset can do neutral damage here against the Alolan Muck. So remember, they do have, I think, 2 Sacred Swords there on Cobalion. It definitely 1. I think it's either 1.5 or 2 saved up. So as long as they can get a shield here, even though they will take super effective damage from Sludge Wave, they should be able to get to 2 because they resist the Snarl fast move here from the Alolan Muck. They do get the final shield, so that is perfect. If they can get 1 more Sacred Sword, that'll secure the victory because I think they should be able to win CMP tie with Cobalion versus the Alolan Muck. And the Alolan Muck won't be able to farm down. It's going to have to throw its energy because Virizion is too spammy, but they do decide to throw right as it got the charge move. So we're going to see that Cobalion come in right now and just throw the... Oh, okay, the Swampert decides to come in, which is fine as well, but this is going to be very, very risky. Well, hopefully it has 2 charge moves loaded. It does have 2 charge moves. It was 2.5 right there. So this first Sacred Sword will be taking out the Swampert, and the second one will be taking out the Alolan Muck, and that's a good game. This is why this duo is just so good. It's incredibly spammy. Remember, it's 35 energy for the Sacred Sword coverage, and then you have Leaf Blade and Stone Edge along with those typings mixed in, and a good flyer on the lead, which is why I said I don't have a Pidgeot, so I'll be trying Crobat because of that poison typing as well. Plus we have the Shadow Ball for Giratina Altereds if we face off against it. So let's see how it does against Defense Form Deoxys right here. Going to be taking super effective damage from both Rock Slide and Thunderbolt. So it is going to be the Rock Slide variant. And they will load up on energy, and this is where you go for those Brave Birds. The Feather Dance is not going to do enough to threaten anything, so they're going to have to go for that Brave Bird, and it lands. That is beautiful now, so they can even let this charge move go through and come in with Virizion and load up on energy. So they're going to let the Rock Slide go. It's a good call. Virizion is going to come in and just load up. Now, they have to be careful about the Psycho Boost. They will let it go through, and this is going to hurt if it is. It is a Psycho Boost. That's a decent amount of damage, and still no shields down, but this is dangerous right here. Defense Form Deoxys could potentially get to one more if they didn't throw, and it could even shield if it wants to right here. Let's see if they decide to shield. No, they're going to go ahead and let it go through. All right, Giratina Altered. This is now a very tough situation. You have a 1-2 shield disadvantage and 2 fighting type Pokemon versus a Giratina Altered. Let's see how this happens. Oh, and then the swap out into Walrein. That is not going to be the best answer. Granted, if Giratina Altered stayed in right there, it still would have been tough because of Stone Edge, but let's see how this plays out. The Sacred Sword lands. They get to another one in time, and this is where you can force shields now from the opponent. But do you risk it and shield? They're going to risk it on the Walrein and shield. I think they want to try to put pressure with a potential Earthquake right here. So let's see. They're going to go ahead and no shield it. It was an Icicle Spear. That's a good call. And they're going to go ahead and try to commit to that farm down. They need all the energy right here. Ooh, hopefully that wasn't a CMP tie. They will have to give up a shield now. And it was the Earthquake. That's a great shield right there. And that means they can fully farm down. And now let's see what this duo can do. Virizion still has a good amount of health left. Stone Edges are doing neutral damage. Like I said earlier in the video, this is why you have that Stone Edge for the Cresselias, for the Giratina Altereds, for the Talonflame. Some of those counters to fighters, quote unquote, but we will see the Stone Edges now start forcing shields. There's the final shield here, and this is going to be a very close end game. Remember, Virizion still has a good amount of HP left, which means it's going to have to go down to charge moves, and it should be able to get to a Leaf Blade. They decide to swap out and catch the charge move now on Virizion. So let's see if this can pay off. Shadow Sneak does a little bit of damage right there, not too much. They will be able to farm down. So here comes the Leaf Blades, and even though this is resisted, remember, I did this against the Togekiss. It does so much little, like, chunked damage right there. Here comes the second one. Will they be able to get to it in time? They do, but this Giratina Altered is a monster. It's going to be able to farm down, and it should have a charge move ready to go. Wait, do they have the Sacred Sword? They have the Sacred Sword! Is this going to do enough damage? It's double resisted because of the ghost typing. Can they take it down? And they do! What have I told you guys? This duo is so strong. It's deadly. It's definitely meta changing when it comes to Open Ultra League because it can also handle all of those XL Pokemon. Alright, so we see a Giratina Altered here on the lead, and this is Dragon Breath variant, which is critical to note because of the Cobalion matchup. If we see it later on, it's going to be resisting those Dragon Breaths. So, and then the last battle we saw where it just won, it had Shadow Claw. So we're going to see a Brave Bird now come through for that massive neutral damage, and honestly, you really want to land this. Just like Defense Form Deoxys we saw in the lead. That's beautiful. Now they can come in with Cobalion, and we do... Buckle up. Come on. Let it go. Let it go. Talonflame, you don't know this thing has Stone Edge. Let it go. No, dang it. Okay, it got a shield, but let's see what it can do anyways. Even if it decides to shield, they should probably let this go through. Yeah. At least what you can do in these situations is for sure lock down... They almost got to it. You can for sure force yourself shield advantage or even shield it up, but this is still a very tough situation. They are 1-to-1 shields right now, and this Talonflame is ramping up its damage. So this is actually looking to be a very tough situation to be in because Talonflame has already done 2 flame charges, which means those Incinerates are going to be shredding. They decided to shield as well. Oh my gosh, this is going to hurt. If this is going to be another flame charge right here. This Virizion is going to get melted. Oh, this is going to hurt, everyone. Close your eyes. Okay, they go for the Sacred Sword. Hopefully this does enough damage. I don't think it will. No, it's not. Talonflame is going to get to the charge move, and this is going to be... Oh, that full Talonflame sweep right here. This is unfortunate. So... we did see, and a Brave Bird as well. Boom! One-shots it right there. We did see what Cobalion could do, right? It forced a shield in that situation, but the tough thing is Pidgeot only had 1 shield because of the lead against Giratina Altered. So had that been a 2-to-1 shield situation with Pidgeot versus Talonflame, that would have been a lot better. So there is potential there, but unfortunately it didn't go their way because of the 1-to-1 shield. So Talonflame was able to do a full sweep after ramping up its damage. So we do see another Giratina Altered right here on the lead. I think this is Shadow Claw variant, just from that animation I saw real quick. They will go for another Brave Bird in this situation, and it lands, which is beautiful. And they can go ahead and, yeah, let it go through. Let it go through. Okay, they're going to shield. They're going to shield here with the Dragon Claw and just load up on energy. We do see a Wall Rain come in, so Cobalion will now come into this matchup. It's kind of a tough situation, right? Virizion takes super effective damage from Ice-type moves. Cobalion takes super effective damage from the Earthquake. And it's probably a better call, especially in a 2-to-1 shield situation, to try to shield the potential Earthquake. They're going to go ahead and no-shield this right here, calling the... No, it was the Earthquake. And it survives! Okay, that is new information. Even a Wall Rain cannot one-shot it, which is perfectly fine right here. They're going to let the Icicle Spear go through as well because it is resistant. And Cobalion looking very nice, able to survive an Earthquake. So even at shield disadvantage, you can still call the no-shield and survive that if you have enough health. That is beautiful to know. Now, can it get to the Stone Edge in time? Yes, it can! This is perfect. Cobalion looking incredibly strong now here. Taking out Wall Rain with no shields. Taking out the Giratina Altered. Final Pokemon is going to be a Drapion. So, the game is not over yet, but Virizion, oh, they can definitely go for Feather Dance right here. This is a very good call coming in with the Pidgeot because you apply that Feather Dance debuff. Since there are no other Pokemon left on the opponent's side, they cannot clear the Feather Dance debuff, which means Virizion now can come in and lock this thing down. So the Feather Dance does get a shield. They're deciding to say, yeah, they got to switch out. They know that. They swap out right away, and they just go for Sacred Swords at this point. Even if a Sludge Bomb does land, I don't think it's going to be anywhere near one-shotting. And it's going to be an Aqua Tail, so they only have Aqua Tail and Crunch, which means all moves are resisted, Grass and Fighting typing. Virizion is going to take this one, and had that even been a potential Sludge Bomb, with the Feather Dance debuff, it would have done far less damage. So this is looking to be a good game, very well played. Virizion just smiling, the opponent knows it, and they will surrender right there. Good battle. All right, moving into the next one, we have Pidgeot on the lead versus Dragonite once again. So let's see how they decide to handle this. We saw them go for the Feather Dance last time. This time, it's not a Shadow Dragonite, so they'll probably let the Dragon Claw go through right here. No, they're going to go ahead and shield. All right, he really likes the Pidgeot shielding here on the lead, which is fine. They're going to go ahead and go for the Feather Dance now to apply that debuff. And if Dragonite lets this go, I think they can actually farm down with Gust. It's going to be very close. Ooh, that's going to be close. They decide to swap out into Escavalier, which means they can go for another Feather Dance right here, and then tough call. You probably got to come in with Virizion. Now in this situation, they do get a shield. Yeah, you got to come in with Virizion, but you do need to watch out for the Mega Horn. Now, granted, with that Feather Dance debuff, this makes the bulk here on Virizion much higher. As you guys can see, that doesn't do too much damage, and Sacred Sword here will be doing neutral damage as well. So the only way Escavalier can take out Virizion is with landing Mega Horns, which already doesn't do enough to one-shot, while Virizion can just basically counter or double kick down right there. Now we will see Dragonite come in, so they're going to go ahead and go for the Sacred Sword. It is going to be resisted. Same with Leaf Blade, but Sacred Sword. And it takes out the Dragonite. Final Pokemon is Wall Rain. That's going to be a good game, very well played. Leaf Blade now in these situations. Leaf Blade at a base level does 10 more damage than Sacred Sword for the same energy. So in these matchups against Wall Rain, you always want to be going for Leaf Blade because of how much more damage it does do. As both do super effective, both cost the same energy, but Leaf Blade does just a bit more. Good game. Virizion completely took it right there. So that Feather Dance combination with Virizion and the Cobalion is really paying off. All right, we got a Shadow Wall Rain on the lead, so let's see how they decide to handle this. We're going to see that Cobalion come out on the field right away. And let's see what is going to be in the back. Fairy, perfect. This is exactly what we want to see. It's neutral to Charms, the Steel fighting typing, while having Stone Edge and the energy gain from Double Kick. They get a shield already, so this is already a very huge advantage for them. They should be able to get to another one in time. And this is, oh, they're going to go ahead and shield. I think they could have survived the Psyshock right there and gotten themselves, I think they want to get to two more Stone Edges so they can get themselves either 2 shields and low health or completely take switch advantage. So here comes the first Stone Edge. Nope. Okay, so they're going to be able to get to a second one in time, and this is going to force that final shield now from the opponent, which is exactly what you need for a Virizion sweep. This is it. This is how this team plays out. You force out the Charmer onto the field, get yourselves 2 shields because of Stone Edge, so now you have a 1-0 shield advantage. You can let this charge move go through here with Pidgeot. Completely farm down. It is a Moonblast, though, so that does hurt. Completely farm down. Have a Brave Bird Now for the Walrein, the Shadow Walrein at that, and then a Virizion sweep with 1 shield. Here we go. Boom! Doesn't one-shot, but here comes the Virizion. Final Pokemon is going to be Giratina Altered. Okay, this is where we see what this team is made of. We saw it handle the Charmer and do very, very well. Cobalion could have completely flipped that mid-game had they let it go through. Oh, he decides to surrender. Okay, so maybe not a winnable situation. I would have fought to the very end to see if it was potentially possible, but they decided to surrender. So we're going to see the Skuntank and now a Scrafty here on the lead. Oh, this is beautiful. You draw out the other counters, right? You draw out the fighters here. But this Sacred Sword is doing super effective damage. I don't think this is going to be the best option for Scrafty because they can easily take advantage right here for shields. You don't necessarily want switch advantage because Virizion doesn't do that well against the Skuntank. As you can still do neutral, but you're taking super effective damage from poison jabs. But they definitely want shield advantage, which is exactly what they got right there. Now, Scrafty is going to try its best to farm down, but they do get to another one in time. This is perfect. If they get 2 shields right here, this is very, very ideal. And they do get 2 shields, so Scrafty will farm down. But a 2-0 shield with a Brave Bird and a Virizion is not something you want to be facing off against. So Pidgeot is going to come in and farm down. No shield everything. They're going to shoot the Foul Play. That's fair, I guess. Foul Play would have done a lot of damage with the Power-Up Punch ramp-ups. But we do see the Skuntank decide to come in. They can easily... Okay, they're going to let this one go through. They can easily throw the Brave Bird right here as Crunch isn't going to be doing too much damage. And they get the defense drop. And we do see a swap out into Jellicent. Now, this Jellicent is going to be catching a Brave Bird while also taking a lot of neutral damage from Gust. So this is going to be a tough situation. You're going to have to stay in with Pidgeot, but they decided to try to catch the charge move now on Virizion. I think that was 4, so that will be Bubble Beam. Yeah, it was Bubble Beam. Perfect. So now they can go for the Leaf Blade. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, 4. Uh-oh, they got to throw it right now. This Leaf Blade now will take out the Jellicent. Mind you, they still have energy there on Pidgeot, so even if this Skuntank can get to a decent amount of energy from farming down the Virizion, which I don't think it will do because of the Sacred Swords, the Pidgeot should be able to clean it up. So here comes the Sacred Sword. Now let's see how much damage it does. Okay, a little bit of a chunk. Granted, that's with Bubble Beam as well, and the opponent does decide to surrender. All right, moving. Oh, I think that was the final one. Yeah, I think that was the final battle right there. What a really strong team. Honestly, the Pidgeot, the backline core of Virizion and Cobalion is so strong. We saw it go against some of its toughest counters. And what I really like about the synergy of this team is that safe swap with Cobalion, having the part steel typing, steel fighting. So that means you're going to be drawing out the Charmers, you're going to be drawing out those Talonflames, you're going to be drawing out the Ghosts, and you can hit for neutral damage with Stone Edge and get yourself set up. Now, I will be trying this team with Crobat once I get it. Again, that's a non-XL option if you guys want to use that. But overall, really strong. So, Zerfelros, thanks for sharing these battles with us. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And like always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.